percentage of the body, and we, as it was mentioned, the body is 75% water in its soft tissue cells, and the brain is 85% water. So we have to concentrate on metabolism of water, the content of the water of the body. Once we do that, we realize that we are dealing with a systems approach instead of particle approach. And the body's problem is a multifactorial, multi-system disturbance. Once we correct the main factor, like an orchestra that's got 150 pieces, you don't go and change the individual players if the orchestra is not doing well. You go and change the conductor. You say that you try to upgrade the conductor rather than scrutinize on the players. In the body, we have to concentrate on the water. Once we do that, a whole lot of things will clear up. Let us get into the importance of water. As we know, we are all freshwater dependent. Although the body retains salt and makes the extracellular fluid environment a saline solution, but we have to drink fresh water. 85% of the fresh water available on Earth is in the polar bears. 14% is underground. Only 1% is in the rivers and lakes of our environment. And unfortunately, we are polluting this 1%. And we are steadily polluting the 14%. 54% is surface water, 33% is groundwater, public supplies, and 12% is groundwater, rural and domestic supplies. And this is where we get a lot of pollution from earth fills, from chemical waste on the land, and from polluting the rivers and the lakes and so on. So eventually, we will poison ourselves in our environment because we don't understand the connection of the underground water with the surface water. And this is how groundwater is used. 67% in irrigation. So when this groundwater is polluted, it goes back into the ground. Eventually, we are recycling polluted groundwater on for irrigation. I thought this might be important for you to understand the importance of water as a quality substance and how to prevent tooth and nail its pollution, because we desperately depend on water for our survival, and eventually probably water will 1 gallon of water will be cost of $100 if they go like this. Now, we have to understand that the human body, brain is 85% water, soft tissues 75% water. Brain exercises priority over the water supply or water needs, and 18 to 20% of all blood circulation goes to the brain. That's how brain gets priority, and the brain is only 1/50th of the total body weight. So it must be important for the brain to receive its water. Without water, nothing lives. Comparative shortage of water kills some aspects of the body, and eventually you may have to give a CPR to a person who doesn't know that he's been dehydrated. Water is the main cash flow of the body. And water produces electrical and magnetic energy. All of you heard Dr. Sharma talk about magnetism in the body, importance of magnetism. It is water that generates this magnetic energy in the cell membrane and aligns the particles in the direction of the magnet, and that's how they receive their information from the rest of the body. Every cell of the body, don't forget, it's a floating object, a floating cell. Its environment is water, and the only way it communicates is through satellite dishes. These are receptors, proteins that are introduced on the cell membrane, and they constantly rotate at a phenomenal rotation. And they change shape and size, and depending on what is coming in the direction, then they have a chance to meet. And that union of the substance, be it an enzyme, be it a hormone, be it a neurotransmitter, with the receptor, will produce an effect in the cell. The cell is a bilayer, and there is a moat around the cell, and I will explain that this moat is a vital part of the anatomy of the cell. Each cell has got millions, if not billions, of these receptors, and they're constantly changing. This will internalize, something else will come in its place. So this rotation of a receptor is constantly taking place. When something meets the receptor, then that union is internalized, and it is that internalized particle that produces the effect in the cell. The cell membrane is in bilayers, and each segment is made up of so many of these brick-like, tuning fork-like bricks. We would use the word brick here because that's how the architecture of the cell is made. And the proteins go across and they act as a scaffolding. There are segments of these tuning fork. This sphere likes water, absorbs water, and water becomes the sticky material there. And this segment hates water and repels water, and that's how there is a movement of water, because these things constantly run away from water that's going through them. And they create a wave-like situation in the cell membrane, and that's how the enzymes that float in this moat travel, move, and meet and constitute a union with the other product that is supposed to be there for their meeting. When there is dehydration, this moat closes, these projections interfit, and this moat mechanism is shut down. And that's how partial shutdown of the cell begins when there is dehydration. This moat is vital for the livelihood of the cell. It's like shutting down the Grand Canal in Venice. Nothing will move in the Grand Canal, and so all the houses there will not receive the supplies and so on. This is exactly the same. In society, money is the main energizer. Everyone runs after the million. This is $1 million bill. And so it is a chase of this substance, greenback, that energizes everyone to move and get things done. In the body, it is the water that energizes all the functions of the body. This is the chemical formula of water. This is a substance called ATP. ATP is the energy unit of the body. Some of you have heard of ATP. When it meets, it has 600 units of energy. Energy is measured in kilojoules. And when this unit with 600 units of energy meets water, then it generates all this range of energy. So it is the energy of water that we are depending on. It is water that enriches anything that it meets, energizes it, and the process is called hydrolysis. This is immediately produced. This is a hydrogen ion. This is the oxidant that they're talking about. Now, this oxidant has constantly got to be washed away, because by itself it stays in the cell. When there is flow of water into the cell, this thing is removed. I will explain that a little bit later. So water is the main energizer. The cell uses hydrogen. Some cells use the hydrogen ion as a form of energy. Excess of it is the oxidant. As Dr. Sharma was explaining, oxidants are important materials in the body. Excess of them is the problem. This is exactly it.